Welcome to Your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 935. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing a book, but you need some help getting it done, you are in the right place. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc., like that stuff we write with. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 20 years as a ghostwriter, book writing coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they can even turn a quote-unquote non-author, someone who doesn't really see themselves that way, into a published book author. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. And here's today's quote. This is my personal favorite quote about the difference between strength and resilience. The oak fought the wind and was broken. The willow bent when it must and survived. Robert Jordan. And once again, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. And, in a recent interview about my memoir, The Power of the Curve, I was asked how I define strength. I answered that I don't actually focus on strength, but rather on resilience. I focus on resilience because that's the thing that makes you get up and fight again in life, no matter how strong you are when you get knocked over. Not all strong people get up after being knocked down. But sometimes people who weren't strong before, they do find a way to get up again. Resilience in the face of adversity, in the face of life's curves. That's of higher value to me personally than the more vague notion of strength. Well, wouldn't you know, shortly after doing that interview, I got to see resilience in action in the November 4th Thursday night football game, the Jets versus the Colts. The Jets' starting quarterback for the game was overall the second-string quarterback because the first-string quarterback was also injured. So hopefully you're following all that. So that meant that when Mr. Second String went down on Thursday night, Mr. Jet's third-string quarterback went into the game. His name is Josh Johnson. He's 35 years old, and one of the game announcers casually mentioned how his cousin is notable former NFL player Marshawn Beast Mode, as he's known, Lynch. I thought, well, let's see if his cousin Josh Johnson, now in the game against the Colts, also shares that beast mode mentality. And it became quickly obvious, yes, he did. I spotted the warrior refused to go down mindset very quickly in the game. So, even more curious, I looked up Mr. Third String cousin of beast mode Josh Johnson online, naturally curious about his story. And wow, what a story of resilience that I found. From 2008 to his current contract with the Jets, Josh has been hired, fired, and rehired 20 different times by professional football teams. He's been with my husband's lifelong favorite team, the San Francisco 49ers, 3 separate times alone. Now, can you imagine being hired, fired, and rehired 20 different times in 13 years? My first thought while reading this remarkable resume was, wow, just to get drafted into the NFL in the first place goes against incredible odds. Then to get passed around from team to team for 13 years without ever getting dropped, Sports Illustrated called him a perennial third stringer. To stick around for this long, and clearly with all these contract switchovers, not getting a whole lot of external validation, requires resilience. Not to mention a whole lot of faith in your next job, the next game, the next play. An unwavering inner belief that no matter what is happening around you, no matter what others believe about you, that you have something great to offer. That no matter what, you will find a way to keep going. When I surfed over to Josh Johnson's Instagram account and started reading the inspiring language of his posts, suddenly his resume and his professional football story made perfect sense. Here's one example. This is a caption he wrote accompanying a photo of himself as what he described as a scrawny teenager. He wrote, "At 15, looking like this, the outside voices would naturally tell me to give up. But the only voice that matters always has and continues to speak to my heart with these simple words: keep going." As authors, we rarely get the external validation we're looking for, the book sales we envision, the amount of reviews we'd like, and other opportunities. And the longer we're in the game as authors, the greater the gap is between external validation and the work we put in. Sometimes it's pure resilience that keeps us moving forward, following our passion and purpose for sharing our words with others. The best I can tell you in these situations, especially when the external validation is just not there, to quote professional NFL quarterback Josh Johnson, keep going. And be sure and check the show notes today. I've included a link to the Power of the Curve interview I mentioned at the top of the broadcast today, as well as a link to Josh Johnson's very inspiring Instagram profile. If you're on IG, I highly recommend giving him a follow, whether you're a football fan or not. I'm personally now thinking of him not as Mr. Cousin of Marshawn Lynch or Mr. Jets third stringer or perennial third stringer. No, I'm now thinking of Josh Johnson as Mr. Resilience. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you push through and write and finish writing an awesome book. And be sure and drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook for motivation, accountability, book writing, publishing, resources, and more. Until tomorrow, happy writing.